Opposition politicians and human rights activists in Russia are renewing calls for freedom of speech and democracy. This comes on the one-year anniversary of the assassination of Kremlin critic Boris Nemtsov. Several thousand people took to the streets of St. Petersburg for a march in his honor. We don't want revolution, we don't want discord, we don't want aggression. Our goal is to have free and fair elections in Russia, to have free media in Russia, a fair court system and elections, to have a situation where those in power can be replaced depending on the people's opinion. That's what Boris Nemtsov aspired to, and that's what we aspire to. 1 year ago, Nemtsov was gunned down near the Kremlin as he was walking home. 5 Chechen men are charged with his murder, with Russian investigators saying they have solved the case. According to the investigators, the only motive guiding the alleged killers was cash. Activists believe Nemtsov's death was part of a larger assault on democratic freedoms. I see that an anti-constitutional coup has happened in Russia. The foundation of democracy we've just started building has been destroyed, and nowadays well-planned and large-scale offenses against our human rights are underway. In Moscow, meanwhile, a similar demonstration drew thousands of people. Among them was Ilya Yashin, a close colleague of Nemtsov's. After the murder, Yashin helped to finish and make public an investigative report Nemtsov had been preparing on Russia's military intrusion into eastern Ukraine. In a show of dissent toward Moscow's actions there, a number of protesters in the Russian capital carried the Ukrainian flag and sang the Ukrainian national anthem. Placards were also seen calling for the release of Nadia Savchenko, a Ukrainian pilot who is now being held in Russia. Yashin says those in opposition to Russian President Putin must not show fear. Nemtsov's murder is a terrorist act. It is a demonstrative murder aimed at frightening Russian society, at least the part which disagrees with Putin's politics. And it is very important for us to demonstrate to terrorists, murderers and those villains that they will not succeed in trying to intimidate us. Security forces prevented marchers from passing the spot where Nemtsov was killed on a bridge near the Kremlin, but many went there after the march to lay flowers. Authorities have repeatedly tried to destroy the improvised memorial, but one opposition politician is determined not to let that happen. I see that Muscovites supported our call to join the march and that Boris Nemtsov is becoming a symbol of our struggle. The authorities did not allow us to march to the bridge because they are afraid of the symbolism of Boris's murder place, but we already call the bridge after him. We call it Nemtsov Bridge, and we will succeed in mounting a memorial plaque at the scene of Boris's murder. Critics accuse the Kremlin of waging a campaign to erase Nemtsov's memory. Similar commemoration events were staged in other towns across Russia.